Was it that the game's bad, or is it that we're bad?
It's borderline unplayable.
Just isn't there at the minute.
I'd say it's about a 2 out of 5.
I think it is the best rugby game we've had in a long time.
Far out.
If the beta testing period of this game was anything to go by, the game wasn't ready for full release. Offside rules hadn't been implemented, the game crashed, passing was slow and dull, and there was no tactical structure or pods. But other than that, it was a solid 5 out of 10, completely average, and that's generous. But it felt like there was some sort of foundation to build off. After playing the full release of this game, I can now confirm that the gameplay is somehow worse. Offside rules haven't been correctly implemented, the game crashes, passing is slow and dull, and there's still no tactical structure or pods. This is a rough one, given how naively optimistic I was. So, let's get the major issues out of the way. Yes, there's an immense variety of international teams and leagues in this game. Yes, the graphics are very good compared to recent rugby games, but the gameplay just doesn't have the depth to create a game that keeps players coming back. Just looking at how the AI attacks should show you enough. I haven't seen an attack beyond a single pass, which is only realistic if you're playing against Wales. The game isn't polished in the slightest. It feels very Rugby League, and it shows that the gameplay was basically just ported from Rugby League Live 4. The only major elements they would have needed to add were lineouts and scrums. The lineouts are a mess, there's no substance to them at all, and the throwing team can never lose a lineout. The scrums are glitchy but passable at best. This game will be updated throughout the year, but right now the gameplay has taken a step back. Oh, finished the first game.
Looks for the sideline. That is it.
What?
Attack from this line out. Support there as the...
What is going on? As the first game in this series, it was never going to be perfect. All it needed to do was provide a solid foundation for gameplay. But the foundation for this game has no real depth to it. There's no attacking moves, no player manipulation, no running lines. The game now struggles to give you suitable passing options at all from rucks. It's just a case of running and handing off. The most important area for a gameplay perspective in rugby union games is what happens when the ball slows down. How do players react to rucks, and how smooth is that transition to another attack? Can you build those attacks realistically to create space? At its release, it's hugely disappointing and needed more time. There's nothing tactical about this game. They say comparison is the thief of joy, but I think it's waiting for a good rugby game for 20 years. Let's compare it to Rugby 22, which was a title from a different studio. The customization, teams and graphics of Rugby 25 are miles ahead of Rugby 22. It looked like a fucking mobile game. But there was some sort of foundation for more tactical plays. At least you could prepare a kicker. Rucks had more of an impact on the space in the outfield. This 3-man rucking system in Rugby 25 is... shit. Beyond that, even after you've created no space, you've got no moves and no time to even get a pass outside first receiver. Right now, Rugby 25 is possibly even behind Rugby 22 and Rugby 20 in tactical variety. And those games were pretty abysmal. Building off Big Ant's pre-existing game engines from Rugby League Live 4 wasn't a bad move, but to not adapt it and integrate elements that worked in Rugby 22 is baffling. Overall, the gameplay is probably a 3 out of 10 at best, and that's fucking generous. So what does Rugby 25 have going for it? One facet of the game that has been successful is the licensing and the breadth of teams and countries available to play. Have a look at some of these. Did you even know Bangladesh had a rugby competition? The Flame Boys, look at that logo! It's incredible what they've managed to do with all these teams, but all those flights around the world, visiting all the different teams to scan the player faces, can't be justified by the quality of this gameplay yet. Oh, I swear to God, I hate this game. So what actually is there to do in the game? There is only a manager career mode in this game, despite a player career mode being available in most other Big Ant titles, including Rugby League Live 4. The career mode has a decent standard base, I guess. It's got a transfer hub, player training, international coaching call-ups. But other than that, there really isn't a lot of depth to the game mode, and it doesn't compare at all to the mighty World League on Rugby 08. Rugby 08 was not made in a couple of years. There were countless titles in the series before. Big Ant's series is a promising rugby game series, and none of the gameplay aspects are actually beyond saving. It's always disappointing to say, and we've been saying it as rugby video game fans for years, but maybe the next one will be good? The blame for all of this will almost certainly fall on the under-resourced developers who worked round the clock to build this game. But rugby has a deeper problem with its relationship with video games. 5 years ago, when Gus Pichot was pushing for World Rugby chairman, he campaigned hard for the development of a new rugby game to attract more eyes to the sport, only for it to fall on the deaf ears of the old boys at the top. Former Supreme Overlord Bill Beaumont can probably only envisage a game like Mario Party, but every minigame is reciting rugby's values. I know this one. Don't tell me. Respect? Knew it. Without the backing of bigger studios, previous rugby game series have crept forward in quality year by year, without any real advancements. Rugby Challenge 4 was a good rugby game, even if it did feel like a Fijian Sevens rugby simulator. But it was very similar to previous iterations in the series. I remember back in the day when I used to play Rugby League Live 3 with my brother. We wished the studio would be given the rights to Rugby Union. Now it has. And I hate it. But I will stand behind Big Ant to deliver a great series, even if this first entry is completely unfinished. The gameplay can be a little bit irritating, but it's still a lot of fun. So, if you're looking for a great, polished rugby game, this ain't it, Chief. If you're interested in the career mode and can look past some unrealistic gameplay elements, then go for it. This game's strongest assets are the customization, the graphics, and the variety of clubs and countries, even if it doesn't have the game modes to fully utilise them. There is, however, a saving grace to this game. It is slightly bad, but it's funny bad. Oh, the Flame Boys! The game will be completely on rails as you defend 100 phases of CPU crash balls, and I'll be honest, you'll be pretty bored, until you're met with the jankiest glitch you've ever encountered. In summary, after playing this game, I now despise rugby, but not as much as this game despises me. Overall, Rugby 25 is disappointing, but there is some promise there. Once again, it all depends on future updates. 2 out of 5, disappointing.